Hey, Homestead Phil here with Rent the Chicken.
And I'm Homestead Jenn, also with Rent the Chicken.
And we have tonight with us
Homestead Cheryl, who provides, let's see if I can name them all. She provides Rent the Chicken and Hatch the Chicken for Red Deer County, Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, as well as Calgary, which she says it differently. But I tried to say it and then it sounds funny, so I'm just going to say it how I've always
Calgary.
You said it
Well,
wrong.
it depends. Yeah, it depends where you're from. It could be Calgary or Calgary.
Yeah, so I say Calgary because I'm not from there. At any rate,
Oh,
so
wow.
happy to have you here.
It's been a
with
while
us.
since we've had you on here. So what's new
Yes.
on the homestead?
Well, I have somebody in my office.
Oh.
She's has some issues.
Oh dear.
So she's been joining me. Well, she's been joining me for a little while. She seems to be getting better. But you know, I'm kind of watching her and taking care of her. And she ended up having a little issue with laying her eggs. So I brought her in and I'm treating her and kind of babying her a little bit. And
She's
not happy though. She is, well, she's not too little, but she's not too happy with me because she wants to be outside with her friends.
Yes, right.
And
Now,
instead of
Is
in
she
her
a
cage.
leghorn or a
Oh yeah.
or a
Yeah,
rock?
she's a white leghorn. Yeah. But she is molting a little bit, so she
maybe
looks
that's why she looks
a
even
little
bigger,
ragged.
right?
She looks a little ragged, but
Does she have a name?
she's pretty lively. No, she doesn't have a name, this one, but she's pretty lively. So she's doing well.
Good.
And she's eating and drinking, but she just doesn't look the most attractive right now.
Listen, not all of us look our best all the time.
Yeah, so she's just joining me in my office. Oh, hey, heck at me. Yeah,
She's probably like, my feathers aren't even combed. Why have you got a camera in front of me?
Right?
yeah, but I always have chickens in my office. So yeah.
What else is going on at the homestead? You've got things buckled down?
Yeah, we did all the tarping of the runs this last week here. Actually, we had to leave it to the last minute, but we had a really good fall. And then all of a sudden winter came in within like 2 days and our whole house is recovering from sickness. And we kind of had to quickly tarp all the runs. And I ended up picking up a new oil heater for the coop yesterday. So the girls are very happy. They're laying like crazy because it's nice in there now. So
yeah.
Now, normally we don't recommend heating a coop, but
it's minus 30. It's minus 34.
And that's the Celsius.
That's Celsius.
I think Celsius or Fahrenheit, that's cool.
Yeah, I think at like minus 40 Celsius and Fahrenheit are exactly the same.
Yeah.
We put on heat between minus 15, minus 20. That's when we add the heat. Yeah. Because up until that, they're usually fine. They're out rolling around in the snow and playing and everything. But yeah, after that, they don't really care for it too much.
Now, have you ever heard of a sweeter heater? It's called a sweeter heater.
Yeah, I have heard of those.
So my understanding is,
yeah, I've heard of those. I just haven't.
Yeah, they produce heat, but if they were to fall into something, they're not going to catch anything on fire.
Oh.
And they use some kind of infrared technology to keep the chickens warm. It doesn't really get cold enough for us to bother with that here usually. So
yeah, it gets cold here.
Yeah. So do you have anything you'd like to ask us?
Yeah, well, because I was wondering if you guys add any heat or what you guys do there, or if you tarp up your girls, or if they run outside in the winter at all. If it's because I'm not really too familiar with your climate. If mine are like running, my geese were outside playing in the snow there a couple of weeks ago. So
sure. So
good question.
We'll do a couple things. We definitely have the tarps.
And we're in Western Pennsylvania, so we do have winter.
Yes.
Yeah, we have winter, just not as cold as your winter.
Well, sometimes. Yeah. I mean, we've got the Allegheny River, which is a pretty significant river. It's probably about in some areas more than a football field wide where we live, and we've since we've been here in the last 10 years, it's frozen over at least twice. And I remember people ice fishing on it.
Mhm.
I would never jump on it ice fishing. I don't trust that, but it will get cold enough that the river will freeze solid
Right.
over.
Yeah.
So, but we put tarps over the run. And I actually just bought some clear tarp to go around a big portion of the run. And I will do that just to reduce the amount of wind that goes there. But then the clear plastic to let the birds still get light, because they still need that daylight.
Mhm. That's what helps them lay their eggs for sure. And typically, a well-ventilated draft-free coop is what is necessary. And even if we have renters who adopt our coops, we recommend putting the clear plastic, on the top if it needs it, if there's a run area that doesn't have a cover, and on the sides, but we never want to seal up a coop all the way,
Right.
because then the moisture doesn't have anywhere to escape.
And the ammonia can't go anywhere.
Right. So that's super important to keep it not stinky, right? To keep it well ventilated and draft free. Yeah. And so something I did different this year, it probably has nothing to do with winter, but some of our chickens like to sleep in the nesting box, and I just give up the good fight and let them do it in the winter, because I'm not going to block off the nesting box and then unblock it and then block it. It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so we invested in the nesting box pads, rather than just to continue to add bedding and scrape it out. So the nesting box pads are in there. We'll be able to switch them out. They're probably getting a little messy by now, but
it's
the eggs are still
been about 2 weeks, and they're
maybe
about
more. Yeah.
they're about ready to be changed.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Rather than just putting the wood chips in there, the pine shavings, sawdust, you guys might call it, rather than putting that in there and then they kick it out and then they're just laying on wood, these at least give them some cushion in the nesting boxes.
So I've got another question, because you are in Alberta.
Off script.
I'm going off script. It's fun with Red the Chicken. Here we go. In your family, do you celebrate Christmas, and how does your family celebrate Christmas?
Well,
just because you're in Alberta,
I have my oldest boys. Yeah, I mean, for us, we have my boys in Edmonton, my daughter's in Red Deer, and then we still have 2 at home.
Okay.
So this year, hopefully everybody's coming home. If my oldest son is watching, he's supposed to come home. The plan is everybody's coming home this year.
Yeah, like you have a tree. Do you do a big meal or just kind of like snack?
We usually do like the tree and the big meal. I usually go overboard, but this year, just with everybody being sick, I haven't done anything. My daughter put up the tree last week, and that's the longest it hasn't been up. Usually it goes up right after Remembrance Day, and I have outside stuff and inside stuff. I have 3 trees to put up usually. This year I got 1 and my daughter did it, and I haven't done anything. I collect nativity scenes and they're usually all over my house, and I haven't put any up yet. I haven't had any time or energy to do anything yet. Maybe before Christmas.
Right. Well, and you know what they say is that the 12 days of Christmas actually doesn't start till Christmas. You have plenty of time after.
Yeah.
And instead of like Remembrance Day to Christmas time, you can do Christmas time to like Valentine's Day.
So
it's about the same amount of time.
Are you using a real tree, or do you have fake trees?
No, we have fake trees because I'm allergic to pine. So yeah.
And pine is everywhere in Alberta.
Yeah, it is. We have pine trees outside. I have a big pine tree where all my chickens like to go and lay under and dig holes, and they love it out there. But
when that pollen starts coming off, and
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we both have plenty of allergies, so we get it.
Then this leads me to my final question.
Okay.
Since you have this big meal, and apparently, you're making food for this. You've got 6 eggs. What you cooking?
Usually, when I grew up, when we have Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter, or any kind of big holiday where family comes home, my mom made this, they call it a Grey Cup Brunch. So in Canada, we have the Grey Cup, which is our CFL football. So it's a one pan breakfast. So you layer like bread and bacon and ham and eggs and cheese, and you just keep building the layers and keep repeating them. And you pour eggs over top with a little bit of milk, and then you put crushed up cornflakes on top, and you put it in the fridge overnight so it all soaks in with the eggs and everything. And then the next morning you pull it out and you throw it in the oven and you bake it, and it like bakes up this massive breakfast that is fantastic, and I love it, and my kids don't. So
they don't even know better.
I eat a lot, and the kids eat cereal. But
That's
yeah,
like
so
they eat the leftover cornflakes. So
that's like something better than lasagna, I think.
Oh, and that's Phil's favorite is lasagna.
Oh, that's you're
Yeah,
gonna have to.
It's so good. It's
When this is over, you're gonna have to comment on the Facebook post with the recipe,
like the exact directions, because I
or
like
at
to
least
follow
send them to
directions.
Homestead Jen,
Yeah.
and then she can repost them at some
Yeah.
point. That sounds.
yeah, it's so good.
I'm sorry, Homestead Rayleigh, if you are
She says
watching.
French toast every time.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This sounds better than French toast. You could probably put syrup on it, I guess.
Yeah.
You could, because there's like bacon. You could put bacon, ham, sausage, sliced up sausage, whatever you want in it. And yeah, I would totally put syrup on that.
Now, I know I've got some Canadian roots. My family on my mom's side was from Montreal and moved down to Vermont when before I was even thought of. But the big thing there was maple syrup. Is Alberta also known for maple syrup? Or do you
we're known for beef.
Oh,
Okay.
sounds fine to me.
So you're not.
Yeah, Alberta's beef.
You're
Yeah.
importing your maple syrup from the other side of the country.
Yeah, pretty much. It comes all the way across. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
Oh man. Oh,
well, that's good.
I'm I just had dinner, but I am ready to eat this.
That casserole,
Yes,
breakfast
that
casserole.
lasagna breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast lasagna. Is that what we could call
We
it?
could call it something.
Is it even a lasagna if it doesn't have lasagna noodles?
Well, no, people make like zucchini lasagna all the time.
Well, hey, I'm Homestead Phil.
Hey, I'm still Homestead Jen.
And we've
Homestead Cheryl is with us.
amazing with Homestead Cheryl tonight.
Yeah.
And she services Alberta with
Red the chicken, hatch the chicken. So like, I wouldn't say all of Alberta because it's quite large, but like the main parts of it, right?
Yeah.
Calgary
definitely.
all the way to Edmonton and Red Deer in between.
So
Yeah, thanks for signing in.
thanks so much for joining us tonight. You have a great night and a Merry Christmas.
See ya.
See ya.